4 years ago, I was just buying sports cards without knowing what I was doing. Now I'm building a real sports cards business, and I'm gonna give you 5 practical steps on how you can start making money selling sports cards. Hey guys, I'm Sparky. I'm 24 years old, and I am a full-time youth director at my church. I'm a huge Denver Broncos fan, and I started collecting in 2020, just buying random cards on Instagram. I just stumbled across the hobby. I've always been a sports fan. I did not know much about memorabilia though. I just knew that my dad had some John Elway football in the garage that just sat there. But once I found cards, I totally fell in love with it, totally ran with it. Those moments just hooked me right in. And since then I've learned to grade and price and sell cards and flip cards. And it's been a absolute blast. I love this hobby. It's become something I always think about and do and take my friends to and teach other people about. And so I'm really excited that you're here. I love building things. I love being creative. And so I love to share those things with you and share what I learned with others. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. When I started, like I said, I almost knew nothing about sports cards. I collected maybe a couple cards as a kid, but really I just enjoyed sports. But then I dove deep. I started watching sold listings and reading different articles about sports cards and hopping on Whatnot, just looking, like watching breaks. I was that guy, just in the room seeing what the heck is going on. And then I started trying to flip myself. I started small, $5, $10, $20 flips, and I really just fell in love with it. And I knew that it was something I wanted to continue to do and make a hobby out of. And so I started selling cards on Whatnot and eBay and local shows, and it's been a ton of fun. So I love selling on eBay. I'm actually selling 5 cards right now. I'm gonna quickly take you to show you a little bit of what's going on. Every Friday, I post about 50 cards to my eBay, and the other 6 days, I post about 5 cards to my eBay. This is just to keep the algorithm going, and so this is just me prepping my cards, taking a couple solid photos of them before they get listed on my eBay, like here. Here they are posted on my eBay. Consistency is definitely key in this hobby, and so I make sure to stay consistent on my eBay. I'll explain a little bit more. Let's continue with the video. When I started in this hobby, like I said, I almost knew nothing about the space. I knew that sports memorabilia was sick. I knew that I liked to sign jerseys and whatnot. But then I started seeing cards pop up, and I started buying my first couple of cards. And then I knew that there was money in this, and I wanted to try flipping cards myself. I went to YouTube and I searched away, tried to find some ways to do it, and I didn't start big. I just used some of the extra cash that I had, and I would start to flip $1 cards for $2, $5 to $10, $20 to $40. I would buy in on Whatnot and flip them the next day as soon as they arrived. Started selling on eBay and at local shows, and quickly eBay became one of my favorite ways to sell. Unfortunately, one of my eBay pages where I had lots of followers got deleted, but I made a new one. I still sell on eBay. It's a lot of fun. I would post even more, but like I said, I'm a full-time youth director at my church. I have a full-time job. There's a lot going on in my life. I am married. I have friends. There's just a lot to keep up with. So right now, all I can really afford to do with my time is 5 cards a day, but that is plenty enough to keep the algorithm going, to keep people coming to the page, visiting, to see those original 50 that were the best of the week. And once those auction goes off, I'll spend my time shipping and getting them out within 1 day, just to get my eBay following up, to get those positive reviews. And I love what I do for work, and I'm not trying to burn out, but you want quality over quantity. And a lot of people think the other way around, especially in sports cards. A lot of people really want to get to quantity, but you have to start, have to start with quality. Because if your stuff looks bad and just isn't selling, then you're gonna overspend on a crap ton of cards that you all of a sudden figured out you can't move. And I don't want that to happen to you. Every card I post is cleaned, researched, priced, photographed, and I'm going to give it my best shot at selling. And that's just what I do at SparkFuze Cards. That's what we do. And when you're building a brand, you just want to build quality, because we're not too quantity yet. When you're building your brand, you're not too quantity. Focus on making it the best it can be. So I'm going to give you 5 practical steps to start making money in sports cards. These are just 5 that I came up with that have helped me the most so far in my journey. Number 1, the one that everyone skips over, is to learn the hobby. Everyone wants to just skip to the making money part, but first you have to learn. It's like anything in life. Even the athletes that we collect, you have to learn the craft. You have to go and watch breaks or track listings on eBay, or learn which players are hot and which ones are not. Learn which players are selling, which type of cards are selling, what brand of cards are selling. I lost money early because I didn't know what I was doing. I was joining random whatnot auctions, 5-second auctions, and swiping, and all of a sudden I would get this $20 card in the mail, or so I thought it was $20. Ends up being a $2 card. So it's really easy to not know what you're doing, overspend on cards, and then quickly be like, well, this isn't for me, and quickly get out. So you definitely have to learn. Like I said, I've been in it for four years. A lot of people have been in it way longer than I have, but it took me 4 years to even start making content because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just jumping in. I've made lots of mistakes that I can't wait to share with you, but I've also seen a lot of successes that I can't wait to share with you as well. So number 1, learn the hobby, take your time. All these athletes that we collect on the cards, they do the same thing, right? They study their craft. They're in the gym for hours. They know what they're doing. They're professionals. And the only way to become a professional is by taking your time, learning the craft, spending time in the weeds, spending time in the gym when no one else is there. You really have to take your time on it. Now, step number 2, almost a little bit similar to take your time, is start small. You don't need to buy the most expensive cards right away. You really don't. Start with affordable stuff. Start with like going to your local show and going through the $5 box, or going on whatnot and buy a couple $1 cards or small lots. That way you can practice buying and selling and learning without breaking the bank. Like seriously, you do not need to go spend your life savings on a bunch of cards that you know nothing about. Take your time. Something that I tell people to do when they're just getting into it, that want to learn how to make money, is go to your local show and interact with a dealer. Buy 5 cards, and try and keep your budget small. For me, if I was doing it, I would go buy 5 $1 cards right now at my local show this next weekend. Interact with a dealer, buy the cards, see if you can even learn how to bargain in that moment and get the 5 cards for $4. Take them home and then go through these steps that I have on my shorts and in other videos, or that other people have on here, and just learn how to post it on eBay yourself, or learn how to go and do a whatnot show yourself, or learn how to go on any of these other apps or features yourself, and start small. Because guess what? If you end up not being able to sell the cards, you only lost $5. If you go and buy some massive collection and you don't have quality and don't sell your cards, you're going to be frustrated. Your wife's going to be frustrated, and you're not going to have a fun day. So definitely start small. You don't need to break the bank. Step number 3, pick a selling platform. This is a big one. And I'll share what I like, and this is me. I mostly sell on eBay and at card shows. Whatnot is definitely really fun and high paced and energetic and crazy. And it can be good for deals at times. But for me, it's just too inconsistent, especially as someone that's trying to flip and sell cards at the pace that I'm doing it. To me, it's just too inconsistent. Instagram is another option, and I think Instagram is really great for connecting with other people in the hobby, but it's not always the best for selling. There's so many scammers on Instagram, and it can be good. I've definitely sold a fair share of cards on Instagram. It's just not my number one choice of where I would go to sell cards. But definitely, if you have some rare things like that you just simply can't comp, go to Instagram, and people will shoot you offers, and it's really cool to build a community too on Instagram. But eBay for me, why I love it, it's reliable, it's searchable, and it's perfect for building a reputation, right? Now, when people this next week go to the National Card Show and they're gonna comp their stuff via eBay. And that's what I love, is my cards are on the most reliable site that people are comping their cards from. And to me, eBay is not going anywhere. eBay is here to stay because it's not just a sports card channel. eBay sells millions of other things. And so that's why I love it. I think that it'll be around for a while. That's where I want to build my platform. But to each their own. Like, if you want to go do the whatnot thing, I think that is great. I think that there's some serious success to be had on whatnot, obviously. But for me, like I said, I have a full-time job. I can't stream for 8 hours a day. Maybe you can. Maybe you're a college student. Maybe whatever, you have time to do something like this, or maybe you're ready to just go full-fledged. Just for me, it doesn't make sense. Like I said, I'm selling about 100 cards a week, and that's what I am comfortable with. That's what makes sense for me. It doesn't burn me out. It keeps me in the hobby. It keeps me energetic. It allows me to continue to make content. All of those things. You have to not stress yourself out with a million cards or $1 million cards when you're just getting started. Step number 4, one of my favorite steps, is grade the right cards. If you want to make money selling cards, this has been my favorite way to do it, is grading cards, but you have to grade the right cards, because grading can add serious value, but only if you grade smart. So I use the 3X rule, super self-explanatory, but make sure a PSA 10, when you're grading a card, make sure that a PSA 10 will be at least 3 times the raw card price. So when you go and you buy your card, first card I pulled, when this goes to a PSA 10, it needs to be 3X what I just paid for it, if it gets a PSA 10. I personally send my cards through GameStop to PSA. That's just easiest for me right now. I think if I was in it full time, I would probably just have my own PSA account and do it that way. But GameStop is great. I pay $21 a card. I don't have to pay for shipping. Super low fees. I get like monthly discounts of like $5 to $10 off every month. It's just super simple. If you're working a full-time gig, you can just stop by GameStop on your way home, drop off 10 cards on a Friday. It takes like 2 minutes. And that's what I love about it. It's really fun. I love the grading card way of doing things. That's what I love to do the most. It's just really fun. And it's cool to get a PSA 10. It's cool to quickly see that money rise and rise and rise the more 10s you get. And the more you grade, the better you get at it. I definitely will suggest going and watching videos on how to look for certain cards to get graded. And that's what I'll be continuing to make content about, is grading cards and that process, how I do it, what cards I look for, all the things. So we'll look out for those videos in the future. But definitely you have to know what card you're looking for. The base standard is you have to 3X if it gets a 10. Do not buy a $10 card that is PSA 10, $20. Like, it's not worth your time. You're losing money. Be smart about it. And finally, step number 5 is reinvest and be patient. Gosh, this one triggers me because I did this wrong. Like, when I got into cards, this is just being honest, I was not patient. I did not reinvest my funds back into my business. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I now reinvest everything that I make back into my business, back into building SparkFuze cards, because patience is key. I don't chase hype, but I find what works for myself and I stick with it. There's too many people that are wanting to just make quick flips, and then pocket the cash. And then you'll find yourself with no inventory, or now you've built a channel maybe and now you're out of videos to create because you just pocketed all your cash. You want to continue to build momentum and build your business. One of the best examples is Mr. Beast. He continues to put every single dollar back into what he's doing. And that's just the only way to do business when you're starting out, is you don't get to really take a pay cut. Now, something I will say is to keep the hobby fun, my rule of thumb is 1 in every 50 cards that I buy, one of those cards is for me. One of those cards is going into my PC. That keeps it fun for me. It's not just money. It's enjoying the hobby, on the hunt for certain cards or certain sets that I want to complete. It's really, really fun. So definitely, maybe yours is 1 in every 10 cards. Maybe yours is 1 in every 100 cards, 1 in every 100,000 cards, depending on how many giant lots you guys are buying. But definitely keep it fun for yourself, and reinvest, be patient. Like I said, it takes time. PSA takes time, takes 45, 60 days. Something else I wanted to touch on with the PSA stuff is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just go to PSA and take all of your cards and send them all, because then you'll have nothing. Let's say you start with $100. You start with $100 and you buy your raw cards, and then you spend the rest of the $100 to get them graded. Now you're waiting 45, 60 days to get it back, not to mention another 7 days to sell it on eBay. That's almost 2 months of not having any inventory. So you definitely have to be smart about how you grade. What I like to do right now is I grade cards every Friday. And so if you start doing that, you start sending out cards once a week. Then after 45, 60 days, almost every Friday on the dot, you're getting new batches of cards from PSA. And that's something really great, really exciting. You're seeing cards that you sent, a month ago come in, and you just start to get in a flow and in a process. So those are my steps. My 6th step would be the hobby definitely takes work, though. I've made my fair share of mistakes. I've overpaid for cards. I have graded things that did not pay off. I've lost some money. But every single step that I have learned in this process has been worth it. It has taught me something new. And if you're willing to learn, like we talked about, willing to learn and study and put in the effort of this hobby and into flipping and selling sports cards for profit, there's some serious opportunity here. Sports cards is one of the biggest markets right now, and it is only continuing to go up. Believe it or not, you are still in the minority of people that are in the hobby getting into it. So jump in now. It is only going to continue to explode. It is wild already, but it is, trust me, only going to keep going up from here. If this video helped you at all, I hope it did. Please hit subscribe and like. That helps me a lot to continue to be able to post stuff for you guys. I'm trying to pump out about 1 video a week, 2 to 3 shorts a week. So be on the lookout for those, grading tips, all different type of things, vlogs, everything. We've got a couple shows coming up that I'm excited about that I can't wait to take you with me on those. So drop a comment. Tell me about your collecting and your flipping and your experiences. I would love to connect with you guys. My email is below if you have any opportunities, or if you want to just talk sports cards. I'd love to connect or help however I can. So peace.